Rabbi Ali, I have often found in your Twitter timeline, especially, you often quote two great Muslim personalities who are Imam Al-Shafi and Imam Al-Ghazali. Now, these two personalities, of course, they are excellent contributors to the intellectual legacy of Islam. But apparently, they are from the two different streams. While Imam Shafi is from the jurisprudence or the fiqh, the law details, and he's one of the schools of the jurisprudence. While Imam Ghazali is to do with the mysticism about Sufism and the those seekers basically. So tell me, how did you develop an interest in these two personalities, and what made you, stick to them? I mean, how you often you quote from those people?
A very interesting question. So maybe it's a little bit my Jewish background. Um, of course, part of the training, part of our kind of religious training and our study is to go very deeply into law. Okay, really, that's really there's kind of the meat and potatoes of Jewish study is the study of religious law, and I love the study of religious law. One of the things that I guess I appreciate about Imam Shafi is that here is a person who's immersed in this world of logic and law, and then every once in a while he steps out, right, and he gives you the big picture. I mean, here's a person who was, for example, argued with many people, right? Argued his positions,
Right.
and then he steps back and he says about arguments, and this is what I quote very often. He says, you know what? He says, I don't argue with anybody if I don't expect to learn something from them. I don't argue with them. I don't argue with them without the expectation that maybe they're going to convince me. And to me, that is world changing. And for a person, and for a person who's doing law, it's even more world changing, because it's so easy to think that that world is black and white. It's so easy to think that a legal decision is black and white and nobody should argue with you. And he says, no. He says, I want to hear I want to hear what's on their tongue. I want to hear what's going to convince me. So that's the first example. And the second example, and Ghazali, and I guess I'm also a kind of mystically oriented. But what I very much appreciate about Imam Ghazali is that he, of course, is also a rationalist, in the sense that he presents mystical ideas, if you can call them that, ideas. And what I mean by mystical, I mean dealing with the interiority of religion. Right? Religion has an outside and an inside. Okay, so let's call mysticism the inside of religion. Right? So he deals with the inside of religion, just like Imam Shafi deals with the outside of religion. But he at the same time he's able to present it in ways which are logical and rational. Um, and so if you can combine the heart, this is the heart with the mind, that's step one and step two. Of course, step three is your heart, and then your mind, and then bring it all into action with your hands. But so I appreciate that very much. And one of the great Jewish scholars, who often, by the way, sounds very much like Imam Ghazali, I mean, sometimes very, very similar, is the Rambam, or Rabbi Moshe ben Maimon, Musa ibn Maimon. And he said we should accept truth from wherever we hear it. We should learn, and so if I find truth somewhere, I try to incorporate it and incorporate it, and accept it, and put it into action.